The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
And all right, happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Recreational Critics Quickie podcast Quickies, right?
Yeah.
This week we're doing Casino Royale.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so you love Casino Royale.
I do.
love Casino Royale.
Big time Bond junkie.
Yeah. So what's the plot of this movie?
Oh, on the spot.
Yep, on the spot.
All right, we're just going to go with the IMDb
Okay.
description of it. All right. After earning 00 status and a license to kill, secret agent James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007. Bond must defeat a private banker funding terrorists in a high-stakes game of poker at Casino Royale, Montenegro.
Have you ever thought about doing like podcasts or radio or anything like that?
I've thought about podcast a couple times.
Yeah. You should do that.
Yeah.
You
I should look into it.
Yeah, do one of those because you had the voice for it.
Find a friend that's willing to do all the legwork.
Yeah. You know what? Do that. I can put you in contact with a guy.
You know somebody?
Yeah.
Good.
It's me. That's what we're doing right now.
Interesting.
So yeah, he goes to a poker game to try and combat this financial network of a terrorist cell, right? And
With
the plan, Le Chiffre, played by Mads Mikkelsen,
mm-hmm.
the plan is to make this guy lose the game, so that way he's so desperate he joins MI6 as a rat, basically. Yes. And Bond kind of takes it a little bit personal. So along the ride, you're gonna get betrayal, love, and a nice little game of poker.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. So it's Daniel Craig's first run at James Bond. He's up to number 5 now, or the 5th one's coming out later this year, and he does a really good job. I just wish he had better hair. I think the thing that Pierce Brosnan had, was that hair.
I don't know.
He had that beautiful head of hair.
Sean Connery did wear a wig.
He did.
So.
But I think that's what Pierce Brosnan was different than all the other Bonds, was he looked the part.
I don't have a opinion on what James Bond should look like.
Oh.
Because Daniel Craig is a good looking dude.
Yeah. Except for duck face all the time.
Hey, that chicks dig it, okay?
Apparently so. But he is built like a brick shit house.
Yes.
And there's a scene. The movie's just so good.
Weird sidebar. I tried doing Daniel Craig's workout.
Oh, yeah.
And I did it for quite a while.
Yep.
That guy had to have been doing steroids at the time.
Yeah.
There's no way you can recover from that kind, because it's full body every day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Hard.
I believe it. I look at the guy and I 100% believe it. I'm sure that scene that Mads Mikkelsen looks at him and goes, "You taking good care of your body." I think that's just improv. I think that's just him going "God damn,
you are a specimen."
Yeah, you look good.
Your biceps have abs.
You got a 6-pack in your arms.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, man. He's so good in this. And so Judi Dench makes a return as M, the spy master behind MI6. And I think one of the greatest things that this movie did, aside from the Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, Bond movies, is it kind of went away from the MI6 involvement and everything. So he calls MI6 a couple times, and he's involved them a little bit. But now that they're calling the shots the entire time, it's Bond's ingenuity, his innovation, and his drive to get the mission done that gets him through this entire movie.
They take away all the gadgets, they take away all the fluff, and it's really just the story of a brand new 00 agent trying to accomplish a mission.
Yeah, and at first he's very small minded. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Yeah, I killed a bomb maker. I saved the world," and M is like, "Dude, it's just a fucking bomb maker. Move on. Look at the big picture."
Yep.
And eventually he does. And this is a good movie. The Bond girl is a beautiful evergreen.
She's amazing in this movie.
Yeah, and it's not just her looks. It's not just saying that. She's a great actress in this movie. This movie has so many things good for it. It develops all the characters well. Le Chiffre, Bond, Ava, what's her name? Vesper.
Mm-hmm. And
they don't really go into Mattis that much, who's his contact in Montenegro. Aside from character development, it has a great writing and great plot.
It does.
And the parts of the casino game, which it is playing not Texas Hold'em. Yeah,
it is Texas Hold'em.
They're just playing poker. It's not drawn out
at
all. The only thing I wish I would have done was explain the timeline a little bit more of this movie. because his days this game is going on. You know, it goes on multiple nights, and they don't really explain that very well. He gets into a part, he has a 1 hour break.
Mm-hmm.
He gets into a sword fight with someone, and then he comes back to the game, and everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to a town the next day, you know, and they go shopping or whatever it is, and they're back at the game that same night.
I think that they just... So when this movie came out, like, High Stakes Poker was on ESPN every day.
Right, so they just assumed people knew what this meant.
Yeah, because those poker tournaments, they were like from this hour to this hour every single day.
Yeah, and I get it. Another thing this movie did that other Bond movies didn't do is the origin of James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of let you know like what 00 status really means. And they went black and white with it, which was awesome.
It was.
Yeah. At first, I turned off the movie my first time ever watching this because I couldn't do a black and white movie at the time because I was an angsty little teenager.
I don't want to watch Clerks again.
What the fuck? And after I gave it another shot, like, this movie's amazing. I don't know what took me so long to finally watch this.
What was your favorite Bond movie before this one?
Thunderball.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
or From Russia with Love.
Yeah.
One of those two. I'm a big Sean Connery fan.
I am as well. Sean Connery is James Bond.
Yep.
But I would say my favorite James Bond movie before this one was probably GoldenEye. Mm-hmm. And it's the same director, so it's...
Yeah, and GoldenEye's awesome too, and it opens up amazing with that damn bungee jumping scene. Yep. I think the Pierce Brosnan movies are pretty solid, and the Daniel Craig movies are a good follow-up to the Brosnan movies.
Yes.
They could almost be set in the same universe.
I don't feel like we could have gotten to Daniel Craig Bond without Pierce Brosnan Bond.
Yeah.
I think it would have been too crazy of a jump.
Mm-hmm. But I also like how this movie is very grounded.
Yes.
They don't do Q, they don't do the gadgets, they don't do any of that. It's just a day in the life of an MI6 agent.
Yeah, it's the same era as Batman Begins and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the trend at the time.
Yeah, gritty realism.
Yes.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot, and I highly recommend it to anybody. And
we watch a lot of movies that are not great.
Yeah. Because
of the streaming services. I mean, I think we look for bad movies most of the time. This is just an incredible movie. It's long, but it doesn't feel that way. Mm-hmm. It feels worth it.
What do you hate about this movie?
That's hard.
I hate his overcomplicated fucking drink.
The Vesper Martini?
Yeah. Oh. It's so complicated. He calls the bartender over during this game, and he's like, "All right, man, I want dry martini, you know," and he wants like 4 different drinks in it with lemon, shaken over ice. It's not stirred.
You're not a martini guy.
I'm not. I get a bartender can do it, you know, but the bartender's like, he thinks the drink is done, and he starts to walk away, and he keeps adding more, and he starts to walk away, and he keeps adding more, and the bartender, you can tell, is like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, what the hell do you not want in this drink?" And then 2 other guys at the table were like, "This sounds pretty good. I'll take one of those. I'll take one." And then Jeffrey Wright, actor Jeffrey Wright, is in there. He's like, "I'll take one whole the fruit." I was like, I was with Lashif in that moment when Lashif looks at all of them and go, "You guys serious? You want to play cards?" I was with him.
Have you ever had a Vesper Martini?
No.
They are strong.
Are they?
Yes.
Well, they had 4 different types of vodka in it, so I certainly hope so. But, you know, Lashif's like, "Come on, guys, really?"
You can get turnt pretty quick.
Order a Blue Moon like a man.
Which is why he gets it shaken and not stirred. Because shaken dilutes it a little bit.
Oh. Stirring it makes it stronger or keeps it strong?
When you stir it, it doesn't melt the ice as much.
Oh. But shaking it melts the ice.
Yes.
Friction. Kinetic energy.
Exactly.
I'm learning some science things.
Yeah. They're very strong.
We got a Twitter notification.
Nope,
I just got a like on something. Completely unrelated to our podcast. But
unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate because I want people to talk to us more. You got anything else you want to say about this movie?
So you asked me what I don't like about this movie. I think that it's probably... I don't know, man. Like Vesper dying in the end.
Yeah. Took away from it.
It sucks.
Right. But it kept...
But it's also awesome.
Yeah, and it gave Bond resolve.
Yes.
And closure to move on with the mission. Otherwise,
but there was no closure. Like, it happened so close to the end that he's just broken at the end.
But he's also broken, like, you get his character feel that he's that kind of guy that would brush off shit that happened to him. Because he talks about being an orphan in this movie. And you said it, Vesper dies. She drowns. She drowns in what he thinks is a betrayal, but it's actually her trying to save his life.
Yes.
And to him, he's like, "Oh, she betrayed."
She's so heartbroken over it
that
she kills herself.
Yep.
Like, she pushes herself away to where he can't save her.
Yeah. And he calls M and he's like, hey, remember my resignation? Because he was going to resign from MI6 to be in love with Vesper and move on and get married. And he said, fuck it. She's a bitch. We'll move on.
Yeah.
M, big picture. He's like, well, look at the big picture. Why did she do that?
Yeah.
And she explains it to him and he's like, okay, let's go be Bond again.
Yep.
And he goes, and then the next movie, Quantum, goes right into that.
Yeah. It turns out the guy that she was trying to save was just a piece of shit.
Yeah. That's his job. Make women fall in love with him and people of power.
Yep.
And use them. So I like it. It kind of gives it the full circle for the series.
One thing I wish that the Bond movies would do would be talk about the other 00 agents. Because I always thought that was a really interesting part.
GoldenEye did it.
Yeah, Alex Trevelyan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only
Sean
one
Bean.
Sean Bean, of course. But that's the only one they ever did that with.
No, so there's a bunch that they do mention throughout all the movies.
Yeah. But they don't dive into it.
Yeah.
At all. But 006 they did with Sean Bean's
And then
character.
in The World Is Not Enough, they talk about
009.
08 or 9.
Yeah.
And they tried to kill the dude. And
Yep. I remember that now. Yeah, The World Is Not Enough. That's the third one.
They don't talk about the other 00 agents at all in these movies, though.
Yeah, they don't. And that's kind of upsetting. Because there was a big theory that this was all tied into the Pierce Brosnan ones, because of Judi Dench.
Mm-hmm.
And that 00 status was James Bond was a code name.
Yeah, that's an old, movie theory.
That it was.
They kind of crushed it in Skyfall, though.
They destroyed it in Skyfall because, and in Spectre, when they, you find out his real name is Bond. I like that theory that 007 was just code name James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I want a 00 team up movie.
Yeah.
I think we might get that with the next one. You think Moneypenny would be a big thing?
I don't know. Moneypenny's not supposed to be.
No, but in this universe, they've been talking her up to be something. Because, she started out in Quantum on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Skyfall, she was back in the field, then she was taken out, and then she was put back in again. Spectre, I don't think she was really in it that much, other than like a desk jockey.
Mm-hmm.
But she talked about how she wants to get back into the field. And Naomi, what's her name? Harris, the actress that plays Moneypenny in this one. I think she's going to make a resurgence. My theory is that she'll make a resurgence.
If they do another 00 agent, I don't think it'll be Moneypenny.
You don't think
so? It
so?
kind of breaks the
lore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also, this movie, it made it sound like 00 status wasn't that hard.
Yeah, you just had to kill 2 people or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, I can kill 2 people. The first guy tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And the second guy was a rat for Russia or some shit like that. I don't really know. Like, yeah, I could kill people. I can kill 2 guys. That doesn't sound like that much work.
Yeah.
Really? You train people to kill people and you're like, all right, you kill 2. You got a license to kill. All right. That's it. Who do I have to kill?
Yeah.
Anybody you want. Then you got it.
That's not how it worked.
It's kind of how it works.
No. He was on a mission.
Sure. But then after that, he can kill whoever he wants in because he has a license to kill.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's always getting threatened to get fired.
And then he never does.
Yeah.
Because she loves him.
Well, because he saved the world a couple times.
Sure. But then she's also just that kind of lady. We go back to our discussion from earlier this week's episode and about being yelled at, my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
That's like his motivation is like, I'll fire you if you don't listen to me. And he's like, I'll show you, bitch. He goes and does it. And she's like, I always knew he would. She had like that Palpatine mindset of, I knew this master plan would come together eventually.
I'm just going to say I knew it, no matter what happens.
And that's how she acts in all these movies. She's like, I always knew you'd do it. No, you didn't.
Do it.
Do it. That's it for us this week.
All right.
You got anything else?
No, I love this movie. You should go out and watch it. 10 out of 10.
Yep. So thank you for popping in for the first ever episode of the Recreational Critics Podcast Quickies on Casino Royale. See you guys next week.
Have a good one.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.